Hey everybody, it's me, Eddie, Dark Bomber. Just got back from touching grass basically, and noticed over the weekend that there was a bit of a dumpster fire happening in the Skullgirls community. I'd say it's a small dumpster fire because the Skullgirls community is a small community at this point, and a percentage of those people decided to chirp off online at the newest Skullgirls update. Know what you're wondering, what's this all about? Well, I'll gladly get into it. But first, I want to say, I'm not someone coming at this as someone who's like, oh, I saw this and people are being babies. I am a fan of Skullgirls. I got my copy of Skullgirls second out for the PS4 right here. I used to play Skullgirls a ton on the PS3. I got it for PC maybe a few years ago just to play it again with some friends of mine. But what I'm coming at here is I am a fan of Skullgirls. I read the webtoon on my phone here, just to keep up with the story. It's entertaining, it's fun. What's going on? What happened? What's this update? Well, a community post from the Skullgirls development team, on the Skullgirls mobile forum, they put out a update over the weekend. The official Skullgirls content updates and revisions. Mighty Zerk, who's a game developer for the current run of Skullgirls right now, put out this post. They said, "Hey everyone, as many of you know, Skullgirls has had a long and colorful history shaped by a variety of contributors over the years. As we look ahead towards the future of Skullgirls, we've reflected upon past decisions regarding certain content that has undermined the many things that makes Skullgirls truly unique and special. As such, as part of our most recent round of updates across all platforms, console and mobile, we've decided to make changes to certain legacy content in the spirit of better reflecting our values and broad vision for Skullgirls moving forward. Below is an overview of the many changes and insight into our rationale for the adjustments. Allusions to real-world hate groups. While the Renor family and the Black Egrets were always intended to invoke imagery from a oppressive militant regime, we felt that the way that manifested, most notably via red armbands, flags, and symbolism, was way too close for comfort, especially given the unfortunate reality that some of these hate groups are still active in various respects to this day. As such, you'll notice that the Egret soldiers no longer feature armbands, and that the heraldry of the Black Egrets organization has also been adjusted. This is a holistic pass that applies to in-game frames, concept art, story mode art, and more. Characters, sexualization, and agency. While Skullgirls is no stranger to characters that confidently express their sexuality, there are instances in the game where characters are fetishized and or have sexualization imposed upon them. This includes a few depictions of unwanted predatory behavior, particularly towards younger characters. While alluding to some of this can be narratively meaningful, we've made a number of small adjustments throughout the game to ensure that this content is less exploitative, e.g. the opening of Philia's story mode. Racial sensitivity. While there are numerous playful references to pulpy themes that we feel respectfully allude to certain stereotypes, e.g. the sexploitation VO pack, we have made adjustments to some content that we believe to be in poor taste, e.g. references to racial violence in Big Band story mode. Update details. So you can get a list of, more details here. Closing thoughts. We of course realize that some of the members of the Skullgirls community may disagree with these changes, either in terms of how we choose to address them, or whether they were in fact issues that warranted addressing in the first place. Please know that all choices have been made following careful consideration and lengthy discussions amongst all members of the current development team. Beyond this post, we do not intend to discuss the particulars of these changes even further. And we are confident that this will provide a more sound foundation for Skullgirls that we can all be proud of as we continue to grow and expand the universe for years to come. Needless to say, thank you all very much for your support over the years, and the future of Skullgirls has never looked brighter. And it is all thanks to you and your efforts to help us get to where we are today. Best, Charlie, Mighty Zug, and all of us at Hidden Variable, Future Club, and Autumn Games. This update was enough to make people just lose their minds and just start review bombing the game. So if we check the Steam page right now, we can see that Skullgirls is sitting at a mostly negative 893 reviews. And out of those reviews, only 30% of them are currently positive. What was that, like 60? 600? Like 600 players hate this game right now? Out of all of their reviews, this is only a fraction. I need to be very clear. It is just a fraction of their reviews. Sorry, every time I click this, it like goes in. So let's look at these negative reviews. Oh my god, we got dude, he's got 101.5 hours on the game. Mr. Serious. The game has been out for years, and the updates are slow. In spite of that, they literally made an update to remove everything they deemed offensive, without even any options to keep or change the original art. I honestly can't support the dev team anymore if this is what they're going to pull. So Mr. Serious, he didn't have a negative review for the game for the years that they just weren't putting out content. It's once they put out this update, oh, Mr. Serious seriously has a review. I had the PS4 and Vita versions. Got the PC, expected Skullgirls at least to escape dumb discourse. But alas, that wasn't the case, so I won't support them anymore. Zeto. 8.9 hours in the game. I wonder, can you... Oh, clicks. Yeah, I'd love to see their full review. Let's see. Oh, what's this? 0 hours in the last 2 weeks. Oh, very interesting here. Okay. Well, I mean, Mr. Serious, you know, he's got to be someone that's, you know, well 0.0 hours in the last 2 weeks. Oh, okay. Let's see, what other negative reviews we got? A Wolfie! He's got 2.4 hours in this game. Wolfie says, game has been updated to remove content when nobody asks for this. Okay. And we've got some reviews here that are positive. There are people like this dude, Neo, who's like, I got 1.4 hours in the game. I have not played it in the past 2 weeks. Game's good, but all the angry people are angry because what they paid for was taken away from them. Valid reason to complain. What? Valid reason to complain. So what was taken from them? You know, let's go into it. These negative reviews here have to be, you know, for a reason, right? Oh, here's one of the good ones. Original dev had the game stolen from him and the current one's killing it for ideology, which is a shame. What happened to the soul this game was made with? So what was that? Was that Mike Z? Was that the dude, Skullgirls? How long has Mike Z been gone from this game? Let's find out. Oh, okay, so Mike Z, oh, it was weird. He was removed in 2020. What happened that made him... Oh, Skullgirls lead gameplay designer Mike Z accused of inappropriate behavior. Right. So, this is the dude you wish was still putting the content in the game? Is this the guy you were looking up to? Floober-doober? But hey, maybe, you know what? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they have legitimate, you know, problems. So here's a YouTube video someone put together. Laito TV. You know, give them a view. It's got 8Ks right now. But let's take a look at this video that they put out of the Skullgirls. Jesus. Of the Skullgirls update, so we can kind of see and, you know, what everyone's got a problem with. Okay. So here, they, let's bump that quality up. So here, they changed it so her panties are no longer showing, and now they're just black. So, instead of having white panties, she has black panties. Okay, maybe there's something deeper. Let's keep going. They took the, Nazi armband, that the Nazi themed armband, and I took it off of him. It looks the same. He doesn't have a armband that invokes Nazi imagery. So you want the Nazi image? Are you really fighting? Like, if you can give me a good argument for why the Nazi imagery is necessary to keep their theme and look, listen, I'm willing to hear you out, but I don't think you've got a good excuse for why they should keep the Nazi imagery. It's like playing like a Where's Waldo here, except I know it's just the armband. It's just the armband. Okay, now this one I understand a little bit. It says the hair comb and Philia's burst animation is also removed for some reason. Being, I don't know if you can tell, I'm African American. My skin this is not from a tanning bed. Don't worry. I'm certified. I got my black card somewhere. But I think the reason they got rid of the pick is because it just invoked a stereotype of people with afros. Like, don't get me wrong, but I see a lot of people that's like, oh, they've got the comb out pick. And while yes, having a afro, you typically use a pick to pick it out. I think they just wanted to go that it's not something that, we want to have for our character. We don't want people to think that there's like a weird like racial element to it. I'm not someone that cares about like, racial hairstyles or anything like that. Like, I'll be quite honest, this does not offend me with the pick in the hair, but also them removing it doesn't affect me in any way either. Like, this just doesn't matter. Miss Fortune's torso also looks less like flesh. The reverse is true for Philia. Any art that uses this action shot got an update as well. So instead of like this being Philia's torso, which I think, okay, if I'm looking here, this is one leg, this is another, and this is supposed to be like her panties here. It looks like they just made it so it's a leg. So like, you're not just seeing like her legs and like torso pelvic region, just like in the middle of the character. Okay, that's not a problem. Aside from the parasol armband thing, Squiggly got added. Oh, okay, so they added Squiggly into the poster set, I'm guessing? I can't see because... Oh, here it is, right here. So in this little spot right here, that's where Squiggly's at, and over here... Like, let me zoom in a little bit. Like, you can see it a little better here, but... Okay, that's a fine change. Here, they changed Valentine's cross into a ninja star, as promised way back. But only the one on her shirt. The ones on her legs remain. Oh, see, it's like a pink ninja star here. You can barely see it. It's like a pink ninja star here. But here you can see where it used to be a cross. And I mean, that's fine. I don't really care. Like, whatever. I like Valentine with... Actually, did they update? Let me check something real quick. Hold on. I actually have the Figma, or not Figma, a Good Smile figure of her that's already coming undone. Crap. Because, I love her. Like I said, she's one of my favorite characters. So I looked at her here. Let me bring it up close a little here. You can see here on the figure where they changed the plus symbol here to a star, as well as on her leg here, they're stars. So I think that's just a mistake someone made. And it seems like they've always wanted it to be, they always wanted it to be, or maybe not they always wanted to be, they want it to be stars. This is just a mistake where whoever was doing the update kind of missed that part. Concept art, yeah, they went back into some concept art and removed the armband. Also, in some of the concept art, I think they said they removed 4 guest pieces of artwork, and my guess is they did not feel comfortable going in to the art book and changing someone else's art, so they just decided to not put it in future updates, which I can understand. Like, to me, that is actually, in a way, censorship. Censorship is not when the company who owns and distributes the product goes into their own work and makes changes to it. This would be like saying Fortnite getting rid of, like, you know, the season 1 island for a season 2 island. They censored the season 1 island. You can no longer touch that season 1 island. It's like, no, man, they just made changes to go with the vision that they have moving forward. That's just how they do it. Conservatives on the right, I remember, cried about, like, you know, some Dr. Seuss books no one was fucking reading, making updates so they would be more, you know, culturally and socially aware, I guess is maybe a way to say it. They made changes so that, you know, it better reflected the times. Like, you know, Native American people don't all have, like, a feather on their head and, you know, go, you know, ooh, wow, wow. Like, it's not like, those are horrible depictions of Native Americans, you know? We updated those because we know that Native Americans, like, there are many different types. Like, they're not like this gross monolith that, like, white culture depicted them as back in, like, the 50s and 60s, you know? So these updates aren't censorship. Now, what I will say, in some instances, and I think it's kind of fair, and I think you can see it here, is by getting rid of the armband, they did kind of remove some accent colors to the artwork that kind of draw your eye. And like here, right here, they look kind of more just like generic dudes in gas masks. While over here, you've got a better idea that they're soldiers. And I think while getting rid of the red armband is good, what a Skullgirls 2, if it existed, should have done is just redesign them so they have their accent flair, but it's not an armband. Maybe it can be like a badge or something. Like, who knows? This is the same picture. Oh, I see. They got rid of this right here in the first picture, this like clump of flesh, and made it look more like organs. It kind of looks like a penis. I can see why. It does look like Double's rocking a penis there. And maybe they're like, we're not trying to have Double have a penis. We just want it to look like a bag of organs. So that's fair. Okay, so here's the story mode section now. Big Band, this illustration is gone. Okay, so it looks like for this, they wanted to tone down police violence and its depictions. Me personally, I'm not sure what kind of changing up the artwork there does, especially if they're not going to change the story for that character, which is like you know, the cops roughed him the fuck up. Like, I mean, you can see his leg is fucking broken back here. So it looks like they just took away the visuals of like cops beating the fuck out of a dude and just changed it to, you know, an up close shot of the pig cops being shitty. So the cops are still shitty. It's just a less visually intense version. Which that I can actually see, like, you know, someone having a problem with it, like being bummed. I don't see a review bomb worth this image, but I can see this is probably the only image out of everything that I can see people going, oh, that sucks. Like, I feel like you're taking away from showing why these people are fucked up. So yeah, here they just got rid of the gratuitous panty shot. And I'll be honest, like, she's not a sexualized, how can I put this? Her character isn't a character that's like, I want to show off my sexualization. Like, a lot of what she has is her hair kind of like is weird. Her hair is a parasite, and sometimes it can be weird with her. But her herself isn't supposed to be someone that's like, yeah, I want people to see my thick ass, you know? So they covered her thick ass, and that's fine. I mean, am I bummed I can't see her thick ass anymore? Yeah. That has nothing to really do with the game I'm playing, though, like, all that much. Arabella's clothes are no longer torn. Yeah, that's fine. Like, so far, all these changes are like, we did this to be less horny. Oh my god. Wait, hold on. Go back. I missed that one. Oh, go back. Go back. Go back. So in this one, she's still wrapped up in like a bondage setup here. But instead of having what looks to be like a bug going into her mouth, they just wrapped her mouth shut. So, you know, implied fellatio is now not implied fellatio. Her mouth's just covered, which is, this literally is still the exact same. It's just they changed it slightly. Yeah, they made it a little less sexualized by allowing you to see her eyes. It's still like a fetish bondage like setup here. There's no problem here. I don't even know. Oh, I see here. So with double, it looks like, yeah, you could see like gratuitous panty shot on Cerebellum here, but you still have panty shot on Cerebellum. It's just, you can't just see the upper part of her panties. Okay. And they got rid of like the saliva coming out of the mouth dripping onto Valentine here. Which I'm also like, okay, that's fine. They covered up a little bit of her cheeks here with some tentacles. But, I mean, like, that's nothing crazy. Beowulf, okay. This one only changed Adam's armband. I will say, they fucked it up a little bit. You can see here, where, I don't know if it's coming through well on my screen, but here, there's no outline for the tongue, so it looks like it just kind of gets cut off. While here, you can tell that there was more detail in the armband. So this was really shittily fixed, in a way, to get rid of the armband. They didn't go out of their way to, like, actually do it right. And this character is still wearing, like, a full-ass bodysuit, so I don't know what their problem is. Having more of that tongue thing makes it worse, honestly. I mean, the character's still, like, in a bondage setup here. I don't think this... I can see why he's like, yeah, having the tongue wrapped around her is even worse. I think they probably want to kind of censor her, like, kind of this portion here. The, like, ass bending backwards. Because, mind you, this character here, like, their ass is still pretty... It's not as detailed, but their ass is still pretty bent back, you know? This isn't a problem to me. Barely noticeable tongue adjustment. Okay. So the old one, honestly, I feel like this one the new one shows off more of her body than the old one. Like right here, that like inner thigh is all being like, you know, completely covered. But right here, you get a little bit more of the thigh to crotch connect. Like this is a little bit more open. And it's still a sexy lady. Like I don't, this is, oh my God. Oh, okay, so here where his chest is exposed, all sexy like, they like covered it in some tongues. Because what my feeling here is that they looked at characters that were in certain situations and probably decided, hey, we don't want to, you know, have their chest and be like sexualized when they're in a situation that they're not consenting to being sexualized in. And I get they're fake characters, man, but at the same time it's like, come on, we don't need to have that. Yeah, they did this. They covered up her panties with the tongue. I mean, I don't think having more tongue is worse because there's already a shit ton of tongue. So like, to me, adding more is not making this worse. I feel like she is fine in both. Like, I don't feel like her old depiction is any worse than her new depiction. Like, honestly, the only one that got a real like edit was Cerebellum here. That's all for now. That's all this dude was able to find, like, at least straight up. So that is what I want to get across here. That is the levels of censorship that these babies are crying over. We think that is worth 70% of the reviews being negative for a game that none of y'all had a problem with. Like, none of y'all niggas had a problem with this game. And all of a sudden, you can't see homegirls' panties anymore. You can't see, like, kind of creepy BDSM depictions of minors, and you're losing your shit? Like, also to show you how little this fucking matters. Let's look at the Skullgirls Encore. So, like I said, we're talking, what, 800, what was it again? 893 reviews in the past 30 days, right? 893 reviews for a game that released 2013. I'm pretty sure it released in 2012, but let's go with Steam here. Say 2013. It's that bad? It's that bad. Let's look at the Steam charts. Let's check out Steam charts, y'all. In the past month, there's been a gain of 7.3 players, and every, this is a huge drop off. Like, let's look for the past, like, all time. This is the player base right now for this game, okay? Let's go for the past year. It's at 292 now. Let's see here. So there were some little, I'm guessing these slight bumps are from little updates that the game has had over time, but it's not that big a deal here. Like, well, yes, you're seeing some like big drop off. Like, even if you go back, you can tell this game is a game that people are coming back to every now and then for maybe a slight change, and then they fall off. Like, there's only like a dedicated, like, let's say 300 players playing this game at any given time. Because you can see where they clearly had like big updates where something was going on that made people jump. This game's not popular. All time. Dude, this game hasn't been banging since February 2021. Okay? This game has not been at peak since May 2015. So nobody gives a shit about this game anymore. So I really want you to understand, the people chirping off about this are people that need to go touch grass. Let's look at some other games real quick, just to give you an idea. Injustice. Woo! Injustice 2. Woo! Look at that. You can see the rise and falls. God only knows what these rise and falls are for Injustice 2. Nobody's playing Injustice 2 either. Guilty Gear. Oh, right there. What's that? That's that right there is when they brought back, what was it? They updated the netcode. The netcode's a lot better. What am I trying to get at here? What am I trying to say? You niggas are babies. If you have a problem with people deciding to sanitize their own game, that is not censorship. Okay? That is someone changing their vision for the game. And I'm sorry, but like, this isn't 2012 anymore, where you can like sit around and cry about your game that nobody cares about. Like, I'm sorry, I don't care about this. Most people don't care about this. Why don't you play Street Fighter 2? And be good at a fighting game for once, you know? Why don't you play Street Fighter 6? You know? Your ass is probably playing Strive. That's why you're salty. You're bad at Guilty Gear Strive, so you thought, oh, I can go back to Skullgirls, get people to play, and you're bad at that too. No amount of chirping about any changes that this game has made to the sexuality and fascism that are being alluded to and outright shown. That's not going to make this game worse. And it's not going to make this game better. You need to suck it up and stop being a baby. Because it's 2023, man. You got to grow up. And again, like I said, listen, hey, look, okay. Oh my God, actually, I was just looking under here. You can actually see, like, they put, like, black panties, like a black thong on this figure. So no one's saying you can't enjoy your sexuality. No one's saying you can't enjoy your fighting game story. As far as I'm aware, Big Band's origin's still the same. As far as I'm aware, Paracel and a lot of the other adult characters are still sexualized in one way or another. But yeah, I agree. They should get rid of the panty shots on minors in video games. Yes, If you feel that the panty shots in video games need to be there, you need to have a conversation with Jesus, my guy. Or the police. I don't know which. And I'm never going to stand by and be like, yeah, we need to have Nazi imagery and things. Like, unless this game is like, hey, these are the Nazis, or we need them to be the Nazis for what we're doing. Like, the armband thing is stupid. Especially given that the characters, those characters are not like horrible villainous characters. Someone like Paracel is not like a bad guy. You know, like, well, yes, she's wearing like a Nazi armband. She's not like a fascist. So it's like, why do you want to invoke that imagery on people who have never played your games? Like, I don't want people to play a game I made and think that like a ragtag crew of militant people are horrible fascists and like hate people based on how they were born. I wouldn't want to display that problem. So yeah, I can understand getting rid of that. But anyway, that's all I want to talk about. You know, gamers gonna game, and I'm always gonna be playing video games. So, you know, I'll always be hearing it, but for real, touch grass. Bye.